Good day. My name is Stephen Davids. I am the CEO of an emerging training provider. In this video, we will discuss case management in Google. This video is actually a follow-up and sequel to a previous case management video we made. In that video, we used Form Arranger, but sometimes we experience Form Arranger, so this is an additional method, or it is also a method that you can use on its own. I will first discuss the uses of the case management, then touch on the theory, and then lastly illustrate what the method entails. This case management method can be used in various instances where you have to refer many times to the one and the same case. For example, disciplinary issues has sometimes first warning, second written warning, and then the case itself. For example, learners can appeal, and their appeal have sometimes a first process of appeal, a second, and then a third and last appeal that they can do. Customers can level their complaints, and then you need to refer to it for follow-up purposes to see how the case and the complaint were treated. The theory and steps in the case management are very straightforward. During the first step, you design on paper your form. You look for the various process elements of the case. For example, is there a first warning, a second warning, an appeal? Put that on, and then also identify various cases that have the same or similar processes. If you do this, you can combine more than one form in the database. For example, maybe learner appeals, disciplinary cases, grievances in our instances are similar, so we combine them in one database. Second, if you have all the elements of the database, you then separate them into two main sections. The first section you use is the elements that will never change. For example, in our case, it will be what case type it will be. Is it disciplinary type case? Is the grievance? Or another element that will not change is the subtype. Is it harassment? Is it late for work? The second section you then divide these elements into is the elements that may change during the life cycle of the case. For example, the phase of the case. Is it a first verbal warning? Is the second written warning? Or whatever the case may be. Having these two sections in your form, you then have to create a third section that provides for the case number that someone will need to input if and when the case is already registered. Then, usually at the very start, I then also have a section where someone can differentiate if it is a new case or an existing case. And it is important that you then divide and give the ability for this person to distinguish if it is an existing case or a new case, because if it is a new case, the sections and questions will immediately follow from the case elements that will never change, and the person must input on thereafter elements that may change. In the case of an existing case, the person then go from after it's acknowledging it's an existing case, then he goes immediately to the section where he inputs a case number. That path is then followed directly to the other elements that may change, so that there is no need to repeat elements that you stays consistently throughout the life cycle of the case. In the form itself, it looks then like this. Here are the section at the very start where the person inputs the information, and then immediately just his email address and stuff, and then immediately they are, as part of that first section, is there a new or existing case. If it is an existing case, it continues to the next section, specifically, and if it's an existing case, it goes to the section of the case number. If you go down at in the form, here are the elements that do not change: case identification, the main type, the subtype, as well as specific case. Here is the section for the case number, where the person just type in the case if it's an existing case. And here are the elements that may change over the life cycle of the case. In the third step, you then complete the form and submit it. This will then create the corresponding Google spreadsheet book, as well as the responses spreadsheet with its corresponding columns. During the fourth step, you then go back to the spreadsheet that was created. In your spreadsheet, you create two columns. You insert a column and then call it auto number or whatever you want to call it. And this as then an array formula which will automatically generate a case number for you. In this case, the case number I generated, I use the formula, array formula, put GD in front, and then join it with the array formula for using the first letter in the column M, first letter. Join it then with an if formula. If A, where the timesheet is empty, then have it return empty value. But if there is a time formula, return a value, the middle value, starting at the third letter and the 8 characters which join the date value plus the time value. This formula I also include at the end of the video. So this is in the first column you create to generate an auto case number. This case number, in this case number section that refers to the form, if there is a number for the case, the people will insert it, and then you create also a second column. I call it case frequency. The second column you create, I call this the case frequency column. You also put in a array formula, and in the array formula basically says it's an if formula where it says if C2, the column adjacent, the case number is empty, then return the B, which is the auto number that was created. But if the condition is false and C is not empty, return the value in C. So it basically boils down to this. Every time, because it is a time, this auto-generated number is time based, it changes with time. As soon as the people at the start, when it completes, will he or she start with the form, it asks, is this a new case? No, it's an existing case. Then type in this existing case number, and voila, you will see it refers to an existing case. And twice the person refers to that specific case, and then it types in the case here or she, and then in the unique frequency case column, you can see this case was referred to 1, 2, 3 times. And your fifth step is basically very simple from this. In the first step, you create a mail merge utility. We use autocorrect that mail all the information that the person submitted to him or her. Just remember that when you send the person the case number of the specific, is it now operational or health issue or disciplinary issue, whatever, the case number you use from this column. Okay? Just remember this column. Although the person, when he inputs in the form, it goes into the input information in this column is column C. The information you send to the person, telling him or her that the case number is XYZ, comes from column D. Just be clear on that. The last step is then to manage the various cases with the filter, order, or the query and the pivot table functions of Google. Here then follows the formulas that we'll use. Thank you very much for watching this video. We love your constructive comments. Please like and share this video. Until next time, keep well.